Now, before I start the video, I have one simple question. Is the Xbox Series S worth buying over the Xbox Series X? Now, this is a great question to ask because I know that there are many of you guys out there wondering if the Xbox Series S is worth buying since it's so close to the Xbox Series X when it comes to overall performance. Also, I know that there are many of you guys out there who are really considering getting the Xbox Series X, but not sure whether or not you want to make the big commitment of spending over $500 for a console when you can just get one for $300. And finally, I know that there are many of you guys out there that are just curious as to how each console is holding up after 3 years of use. And in this video, I'll be answering every single one of those questions while also providing how much these consoles have progressed since the first time that I bought them. Now, starting with the overall design of each console, they both give off the same vibe with a very boxy, sharp, and simple frame, but it's not hard to ignore the fact that the Series X indeed looks much more premium. It has the very stealthy black matte material, it's much bigger, it's much heavier, comes with a cooler looking ventilation system, and it also has a much more complete design. The simplicity also benefits both consoles since they don't need much maintenance. The Series S has much more going on when it comes to the top, but I still really enjoy its design. Both the black and white with the matte materials look amazing on both, but I will say that since the Series S is white, you will see more dirty stains on it if you have it in a certain place or you have kids, but both have a solid matte material, so with water and a cloth, they're very easy to clean. And even though the Series S is smaller than the Series X, both were very easy to place because of the size and shape. You can lay them flat or standing up, but I will give the Series S the slight edge since it'll fit easier into bags whenever you want to take your Xbox on the go. The ventilation was on the top of each console, so no matter how I placed each, they pretty much will be good to get proper air. And now when it comes to buttons and ports, the Series X only has 3 different buttons, including the Xbox symbol power button, the eject button for discs, and the controller button that connects your controller to your Xbox. The Series S has 2 different buttons because unfortunately it doesn't have a disc tray, so if you're someone who likes the original way of playing and buying games, the Series S isn't much of an option and you can only play games using digital. On the Series X, the eject tray was very sleek and low key, and I really appreciate how it gives us gamers both options because sometimes a place that sells discs will have a better sale than the Microsoft Store. Now, something that still bothers me till this day is the fact that the Series X and S didn't have 2 ports in the front, and most importantly, the fact that they didn't have a USB-C port. And I feel like as of 2023, it should be pretty common for any tech company to adopt USB-C. And also, it never hurts to give the consumer an extra choice, just like the PS5 does. And moving on to graphics, something that's important to note is that the Xbox Series X is much more powerful and gamer-friendly than the Xbox Series S. It has 12.1 teraflops with 16 gigs of RAM, compared to the Series S's 4.1 teraflops with 10 gigs of RAM. And since the Series X supports true 4K while the Series S is limited to 1440, you mainly can tell the difference when they're side by side, and I'm not gonna lie, 1440p still has amazing quality, and if you're someone who doesn't need every single little detail to be the sharpest in the world, the Series S will be perfect for you. Now right here, I'm gonna be playing a game on the Series S, and as you can see, it still looks amazing. I still was able to play the game with no problem. I wasn't thrown off by the resolution, and I think that even with 2020 vision, it won't bother you. And right here, I'm playing the same game on the Series X, and it does look sharper. Things in the background will be more clear to see, but the average person won't be paying attention to that. So if you're just a casual gamer that doesn't really care about having the greatest graphics and want to just simply play the game, it won't make much of a difference. Also, take into consideration that if you do want to get the most out of your Xbox Series X's 4K 120Hz capabilities, you will need to have a 4K TV, so if you don't, the choice for the Series S gets much easier. My favorite feature on the Series S and X was easily quick resume, which allows you to jump between games without having to save or close them. Like for example, I can switch between 4 different games and it will go to the exact point of where I left off at, which means that I can play many different games without having to restart the app. So if you're indecisive about which game you want to play, or you just like playing multiple games at once, the Series S and X won't disappoint. And now looking at the home screen and UI of the Series X and S, they're both the exact same, very reminiscent of the Xbox One, and I still love how simple it looks. It felt very smooth to navigate through, everything was very easy to see, and again, when it comes to the standard Xbox experience, you're not missing out on anything with either. But since 3 years ago, the home screen has changed a bit. Whenever you scroll through different games and apps, the background will change just like the PS5, and it feels much more immersive and exciting. Also, if you're not much of a fan of the always changing background, you have the option to set it to a default background. Xbox offers many different wallpapers, from the simple color ones, the Xbox Inspire ones, the dynamic ones that are influenced by a bunch of other games that are exclusive or come with the console, and even going into quick menus, they are the exact same, very nice layout, and is very customizable and can be rearranged any way you want. Now, getting into games, the Xbox Series X and S play all the same games from exclusive, AAA, all the way down to its more underrated indie games. The only difference that you will notice with these games is the graphics, and again, the Series S doesn't have a disc tray, which means that you're basically just limited to digital. But my favorite thing about both consoles is that they both support Game Pass, which is basically the ultimate deal no matter which choice you make. Now, Game Pass is basically an all-inclusive subscription where you can pay monthly to access hundreds of Xbox and big market games via cloud or download. Every single game in Game Pass is playable in full. If you want to access hundreds of games, get exclusive deals, and have discounts on games that aren't included in a membership, you'll only be paying $10 a month for the basic version. But if you want to get the Ultimate Edition, where you'll be able to get everything that's included in the basic version, be able to play all across Microsoft-owned devices, and have Xbox Live Gold, which allows you to play online with your friends, then the Ultimate Game Pass might be more catered to you. Personally, I love Game Pass because, as you guys know, gaming has gotten very expensive. Each game now is around $40 to $70, which means that if there's 4 games that you really want to buy, you'll easily be spending $200 to $300, which is way too much money. Because even if you think about it, say you buy 4 games, they're all $70, that's literally $280 a year. But with the Ultimate Edition of Game Pass, $17 times 12 equals $204, which means that you're spending less money for way more games. And even if you want the basic plan that's $10 a month, you're only spending $120 a year, which is an even better deal. Again, hundreds of games in your catalog for less money than buying 4 games full. You really can't beat that. Now, another benefit is that there's no waiting. So if there's a new game that's coming out and it's going to be on Game Pass, you will be able to play that game on the first day as soon as the clock hits 12. You'll be able to play every single Xbox X and S exclusive. You'll be able to play EA games from Madden, NHL, and the Star Wars series, and any other game that EA is currently selling. The Series X is also backwards compatible, which means that you can play Xbox One, Xbox 360, and original Xbox games on it, which really increases its gaming catalog. Now, looking at the Xbox Series X and S controller, everything was pretty much the exact same as the Xbox One's controller, but has been made to be much more comfortable. It has a smaller size, which helps when you're gaming with big or small hands. On the front, there's the Xbox power button, which looks really good. There's the fresher looking D-pad along with asymmetrical sticks, and the material is more rugged, which counts for a better grip. The D-pad also looks fine, but over the years, I've noticed that it looks really cheap, which is very telling because this controller costs more than last gen. And even though I like both of these controllers, I feel like Microsoft could have put a little bit more effort compared to the DualSense. But that's pretty much it. The Series X and S are very identical when it comes to the true essence of an Xbox, but if you're someone who wants power, better graphics, and better hardware, the Series X is for you. So here's the final question. Which console will fit you more? Well, in my honest opinion, I have multiple answers. Now, if you're someone who has kids and you want to get them a gaming console, the Series S is the easy winner because it's cheap and it plays the game very well, so your kids will be satisfied. If you're someone who isn't sure whether or not $500 is actually worth it compared to the cheaper version, get the Series X, because not only are you getting amazing graphics, but the Series X also has double the storage, and I promise you, being able to download more games will help in the long run. And finally, if you're someone who wants an extra console or you just want to have an Xbox in the house, the Series S will do. You can still get to play all exclusives, you can still play Game Pass, and you still get to experience the amazing Xbox UI. But if you just have money to blow or you want to get a console off pure performance, you already know which one I'm gonna tell you to get. But let me know down in the comments, you guys. Which console would you get? The Xbox Series X or S? Let me know. And again, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.